I forgot to mention, guys, that I went to see the House of Gucci this weekend, and it wasn't what I expected. I thought I was going to be seeing the rise of Gucci, how it started, how they got it out the mud. I'm going to see what makes it such a luxurious brand, the thinking behind it, the colors, everything that went into it. But no, it literally started where the brand was already established, like kind of 3 generations in. So we see like the grandson and his marriage, the grandson of Gucci, and how he marries the lady, which is Lady Gaga's character. And I'm watching it. I'm like, is this supposed to be about their relationship? Oh my gosh, y'all, I was about to fall asleep because, I just had in my mind that it was just going to be like a rags to riches kind of story, or the mind of a mastermind kind of thing. And it was nothing of the sort. And that just really bothered me, and it upset me. But of course, it's always a lesson to learn and a lesson to gain from watching anything. I feel like I could find inspiration or something to take away from mostly anything that I watch. So for that story, the House of Gucci, and the marriage between the grandson and Lady Gaga's character, I just realized, like, y'all better forgive people. And if someone wants to walk away from you, let them walk. Understand that what is released or what's going is not as good as it gets. Ooh, about to be preaching to myself. Whatever wants to leave, let it leave. God will replace it with something better, but you just have to have the faith to believe. And in this movie, it basically picked up at the end. So it was almost like a get back kind of movie, which was not what I was expecting. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is how this movie ends. So it was more so that, but I just realized, like, okay, I see what's going on here. She made her husband her everything, or at least those are the feelings that, she had to have in order to exact revenge. And when he was ready to leave, she just couldn't handle it. And it just lets me know how anger can fester inside of you, and it can turn deadly. It can make you act out irrationally. So it is best to forgive people, even if the hurt is really, really great, and it's not easy to do. And I get that. But please do not let it simmer and fester inside of you. Now I understand why the Bible talks about that. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath, because if you do, it's almost like it plants a seed, and then you think about it more, and your thoughts water it until it grows into something that you can't, you don't want to cut down. It just takes on a life of its own: unforgiveness, anger, bitterness, and it just will turn into a ball of like rage. And then you may act on your rage or anger or disappointment. And when you're at that point, no one, like whoever's in your path, needs to make way, because that feeling is very strong. It'll have you act out. And then when you really think about it, it's just like, why? It's not that serious. It's really, really not. And you never want to infringe on a person's will. I learned, if somebody wants to go. If the unbeliever wants to depart, let them. Do not grab to them by their ankles and beg for them to stay. No, let them go. Cry it out. Talk to your mama and your auntie, sister, cousins. If they got to say, I told you so. I told you not to marry him. I told you not to be. Just let it be. Just take that L and move on. Do not let your revenge become an idol. Do not make them feel the pain that you feel. I learned also through that movie that life has a way of working itself out. Like, everything winds up being in balance. People do reap what they sow. You may not see it, but it happens. It's just the way life is. And in the movie, it seemed that way. Before Lady Gaga's character took matters into her own hands, it was set up that, the husband that did her dirty or left her, he was going to get, I don't want to say he was going to get his, but life didn't become easier for him either. Sometimes I think we think that, like, oh, because he left me, he's going to go off into the sunset and just live this romantical life with this other woman. And that may or may not be the case, but I just know that, okay, it may seem that things are perfect in his life, but it rains on the just and the unjust. Like, we're always going to be going through something or coming out of something. That's just how life is. So I just let life do it's dirty work. Don't you go consult anybody. Don't be trying to get no revenge. Don't be trying to take matters into your own hands, because scripture do tell us that as well. Vengeance is mine. Ain't nobody worth going to jail for, especially when it comes down to like the heart matters and love and wanting somebody to be with you so bad. If I can't have them, nobody else can have them. None of that jazz. Oh, I should have said this from the beginning. I may be dropping some spoiler alerts, but for the people like the older generation, they already know what happened. I didn't. I had no clue. That what happened with Gucci. So I know for the people that like were alive during the time, I already know what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to like talk in a roundabout way, so I don't give it away for the people that still may want to watch it and the people that don't know. But yeah, y'all. Overall, I just want to say, let God be God. Let God take care of your hurts and want to get revenge, because we do feel like we may want to take matters into our own hands, especially if we had the means to do it. If I don't like such and such girl at that's trying to apply for the job, and I work in HR and her resume come on my desk, I can have the power to say nope. But don't do that. Let the chain of commands happen as they're going to happen. Don't stop or be manipulative or force anybody to do anything because you feel like you need to get back. It is okay. Let God do what he needs to do in their lives. When you really come to a place of forgiveness, you like pray like, Lord, have mercy on them. You're able to pray from a different position, because you realize like if they hurt you, they could be hurting. Hurt people. And I really feel like that's true. So, just cover them in prayer and like, wish God's best on them. Even though it may be hard, maybe a little tricky. Forgiveness is a very strong thing to do. Like, it's not for the weak, especially when you're hurt. But I say all that to say, that part was good because I learned something from it. But the beginning part, I didn't really care about that relationship. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, this is what this movie's about. So I hope you guys, if you decide to watch it, or if you watched it, let me know what you think. I gave the movie like a C. Yeah, so I gave this movie like a C-, because honestly, I could have just probably watched biography on this situation and learned what I need to learn. Actually, I may go back and do that. But all right, guys, I'll talk to you later. And this is your girl, Cinquetta, signing out. Bye.
Matt Cinquetta, man, the girl was heaven sent. Matt Cinquetta, man, the girl was heaven sent.